In our number 10 spot, we have Hoover Dam, Nevada. Are we really surprised that something from Nevada is on this list? Nevada, you know, home of Area 51 and the aliens? I'm not. The Hoover Dam is such a cool sight to see, as unlike any other dam, water does not fall off the edge. It actually flows back up. What? Apparently this happens due to the structure of the dam itself, and because the updraft of the dam is so strong, it causes the water to move upwards instead of downwards. Fascinating. In our number 9 spot, we have, okay, bear with me folks as I butcher this name. I really tried to look it up, so hopefully I get the pronunciation right. Kia Kityo Pagoda, the Golden Rock Stupa from Myanmar. I'm always amazed when I discover something so crazy magical that I've never heard about. I mean, of course, because hey, there's so many things in this world and it's impossible to know everything, such as this giant golden boulder that's just sitting on the edge of a mountain. No big. It's a mystery as to why it hasn't rolled off. This boulder is located on top of Mountain Kiat Kityo. It is standing on what is said to be a strand of Buddha's hair. Apparently though, the rock has been standing on this spot for 1,000 years, so it probably won't fall off anytime soon. This site is a popular place of worship for pilgrims. Very cool. In our number 8 spot, we have Abbotsford Hill. There's a very unique hill in Abbotsford, British Columbia that defies the laws of gravity, and if you drive on this hill and put your car in neutral, you will literally roll up the hill. It makes no sense, but it's true. The hill has gained quite a bit of popularity for its magical abilities. Apparently it's a part of a phenomena called the magnetic hill. There is a video clip that shows a man on the hill and it's fascinating. Some say that it's just an illusion, but I don't know. It certainly doesn't seem like an illusion watching a few people experience it. Have you ever been on a magnetic hill before? We'd love to know your experience in the comment section below. In our number 7 spot, we have Mystery Spot. This place is literally called Mystery Spot. I'm not hiding the location from you, I swear. This is a place located in Santa Cruz, California that has some weird magnetic forces going on. There are some strange irregularities in gravity, such as water flowing upstream, magnetic compasses going whack, and apparently people change in size. How is this place real? I want to go check this out like pronto. Another cool thing about this place that makes zero sense and completely defies the laws of physics is that you can stand on an angle without falling down. That's insanely magical. We're all definitely going to put this one on our bucket list like right now, I just know it. In our number 6 spot, we have the Hudson Bay area. This is another strange phenomena on the planet where gravity changes. In the Hudson Bay area in Canada, some kind of strange phenomena alters the gravity, and people who go there will actually discover that they weigh lighter. How? I don't know. I wonder if there are scientists investigating this currently. Several theories have been made about this in the past, but no definite conclusions. I mean, I know there are probably so many more important things for them to focus on, but I hope they discover why this happens at some point in my life. I so want to take a trip out there and bring a scale and see the difference. In our number 5 spot, we have St. Ignace Mystery Spot, Michigan. In the 1950s, a few surveyors were exploring Michigan's Upper Peninsula one day when they realized that none of their equipment was working properly. After some testing was done, it was discovered that a 300 feet in diameter circle was a mystery spot where gravity seems to do strange things and tall people appear to be smaller. Now, there is much speculation over whether this is an optical illusion or not, but what's interesting is that the people that have gone there have said that they feel queasy and lightheaded if they stay within the circle for too long. That could just be the result of nervousness from not understanding why the place is how it is, or it could literally be a result of the mystery circle, but who knows? The owners have turned it into a tourist attraction with a guided tour, miniature golf, a maze, and even zip lining. So maybe that's why nobody takes this area seriously and chalks it up to being an illusion? Perhaps. Oh, America, I love you and your entrepreneurial spirit. In our number 4 spot, we have Spook Hill, Florida. Florida is known for having a hill that is in the family of the magnetic hill phenomena, where cars roll uphill in neutral, and this hill is called Spook Hill. Fitting, as the idea of cars rolling upward is indeed spooky. As of 2019, Spook Hill was listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Don't get too excited though, because apparently it is an optical illusion, and they say that the ground appears to be an uphill when really it is a downhill. Damn, I really want to see this though. Fun fact about this area, there is an elementary school adjacent to the hill, and apparently to go along with the spooky theme, they adopted Casper the Friendly Ghost as their school mascot. I am so here for this. That is amazing. Why didn't I go to this school? I don't know. In our number 3 spot, we have Cosmos Mystery Area. In Rapid City, South Dakota, there is another mystery area that scientists can't explain. I always wondered if there was anything cool to see in South Dakota, and here is my answer. You only ever hear about the big states like LA and New York, so I love when I stumble across something like this in a state that we don't hear about too often. The Cosmos Mystery Area is another strange phenomena place where you can stand at a slant and not fall over. The reason? Possibly some kind of magnetic force changing the gravity, but there seemingly is no conclusive reason. What's cool about this place is that they say that you can stand on the wall. Yeah, you can stand on the wall. It's confusing to think about, but so cool to imagine. I really want to go. I must experience this at some point in my life. In our number 2 spot, we have Leh, India. On the way to Leh City in India, there is a magnetic hill unlike the other ones on this list. It is known as the magnetic hill of Ladakh. The reason it is unlike the other ones is that the locals believe it to be much more mystical. There is an old story around the place where apparently there was a time in the past when a road at Magnetic Hill existed, and this road took people to heaven. The people that deserved to go to heaven were pulled up while walking on this path, whereas those that didn't feel anything. Apparently on this magnetic hill, if you turn your car off and keep the engine in neutral, it will move your car up to 20 kilometers an hour. Wow, that's insane. Apparently when aircraft passes this area, the pilots increase their altitude to avoid magnetic interference. Wild. In our number 1 spot, we have the Leaning Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pisa, located in Italy, has mystified the world for centuries. The structure's foundation was built in the year 1173, and by the time the tower's foundation had settled and the builders had completed their other projects, the foundation had begun to settle unevenly on the ground beneath it, and as a result, the structure began to tilt. It took 200 years to be made, and then over time it continued to lean. By 1990, the tower was leaning 5.5 degrees from the perpendicular that it was actually too dangerous and shut down to visitors. Eventually it was repaired and they were able to decrease its leaning, and it became more safe for visitors again. Okay guys, so I have actually seen the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and boy, I must say, was it leaning? No, really, you see it in a photograph and think, damn, that looks like, it's really leaning. But then you see it in person and you go, damn, that's a leaning tower right there. Just saying, it's pretty intense. Would recommend.
Starting off in our number 10 spot, we have the Olmec Colossal Heads. The Olmec civilization has often been referred to as the mother culture of Mesoamerica, and from somewhere between 1400 to 400 BC, the civilization rose in the Mexican Gulf Coast. Now, over 2 millennia later, in 1862, a farmer was digging that very same land that they once lived on, and he came across an extremely large stone head. From here, research continued, and this turned out to be one of 17 stone heads that are thought to have been portraits of the rulers at the time. The statues are all somewhere from 5 to 10 feet tall, but they are extremely heavy. Like heavier than a full-grown elephant. The reason it is believed that these stone heads were made to model rulers of the time is because they all share similar features, but they are each made with different expressions, slightly different facial features, and different headdresses. While the first discovery of the stone head was close to the source of the basalt stone that was used to make them, most of the heads are like 60 miles away from there. So we have absolutely no idea how these ancient people were able to make these stones. We just know it wasn't an easy task by any means. In our number 9 spot today, we have Gafsa Lake. A desert isn't exactly the first place you think of when someone asks if you want to go to the lake, but how about when a lake miraculously pops up in the middle of one? In 2014, in a desert in Tunisia, a lake seemingly just popped out of nowhere. And not like a small lake either. This lake was around 2.6 acres large large, and it was estimated to be about 18 meters deep. As you can imagine, people of course started swimming in it immediately rather than questioning the safety of a lake that came out of nowhere, and this turned out to not be the best idea. What a surprise. While it isn't 100% clear how this anomaly happened, it is possible that the water may have come from the nearby phosphate mines, as there might have been an underground spring that was freed in the mining process. This, however, would contaminate the water with carcinogens, some of them potentially radioactive. So while it would certainly be really cool to see this spontaneous lake, the risks probably aren't worth taking a dip. In our number 8 spot today, we have Sacsayhuaman. This site is located in Cuzco, Peru, and it is another fascinating and seemingly impossible stone structure that was built by the Incas. This structure was once believed to have been a fortress, but now it is believed it may have actually been used for things like ceremonies. Why this is another incredible creation is because of the fact that we just can't quite figure out how it could have been built. The stones in the structure fit together so perfectly that they are able to stay together without anything holding them in place, and they've done so for years and years. This, coupled with how large some of the stones were, is enough to completely stump experts. Despite how well the stones all fit together, apparently they all have different shapes, which has led researchers to believe that the building design was kind of made up as the structure was being built. Imagine that. Improvising building a structure, and it lasts for hundreds of years and goes on to stump humanity for a while. In our number 7 spot today, we have the Taos Hum. In the small city of Taos, New Mexico, for years, residents and visitors alike have been puzzled by a mysterious sound in the air that no one can quite find the source of. It is said that only about 2% of residents reported hearing this low-frequency desert hum, and the theories as to what could be going on here truly are endless. They range from believing it's caused by some sort of unusual acoustics all the way to mass hysteria and other far more sinister top-secret theories. Things are further confused by the fact that those who hear the sounds actually hear many different sounds, meaning that it might be more of a subjective experience rather than an objective sound. At this point, it is so unclear we may never truly get any kind of answer as to what we're looking for. In our number 6 spot today, we have fairy circles. Fairy circles sounds like the cutest and sweetest thing, and while this isn't a horrifying discovery, it's not as cute as the name might suggest. In the Namib Desert, there has been these circles found in the middle of areas of vegetation where perfectly fine and fertile ground has no grass growing at all. It's never found in any other shape, only circles, and these circles are evenly spaced out, which is super weird. Some people suspected fire or wind, but these patches can last for years and years at a time, some lasting for a whole 75 years. It wasn't until 2017 that a more reasonable explanation came into play, and that is that these circles might be the sites of previous termite colonies, and the plant root systems do this automatically in order to efficiently distribute water during the inevitable shortages that are going to happen in a desert environment. This is just a theory, however, so no one really knows yet what is going on here, so I think I'll just stick to the theory that it's fairies. In our number 5 spot today, we have the Mobile Cave. This cave is located in Romania, just a few kilometers from the coast of the Black Sea, and it was first discovered in 1986. This cave has been isolated from the outside world for millions of years, and basically everything that goes on inside of it is different than what we are used to. The cave life is not based on photosynthesis and rather chemosynthesis. The level of oxygen in the cave is around a third of what is normally found in the atmosphere, and of the 48 species found in the cave, 33 of them were endemic, meaning that they can't be found anywhere else in the world. It is just crazy that it is possible for 5.5 million years that creatures on this planet could be living an entirely different life than the rest of us, inside of a previously undiscovered place. In our number 4 spot today, we have Point Nemo. This is the most remote location on Earth. It's officially known as the oceanic pole of inaccessibility because it's the furthest point away from land. This area is surrounded by more than 1,000 miles of ocean in every direction. There's obviously no humans who live even close to Point Nemo, which is why it is called that in the first place, Nemo being Latin for no one. While this may not be a scientifically impossible place, it's just this one fact that is honestly so shocking to me, and it is what got this place a spot on this list. This location is so isolated that the closest people to Nemo aren't even on this Earth. Since the inhabited area closest to the point is over 1,000 miles away, the humans aboard the International Space Station are way closer than anyone on land. In our number 3 spot today, we have the Doubletree. This Doubletree is located in Italy, and when you look at it at first, it just simply doesn't seem possible. Referred to as the Doubletree of Cazorzo, this is a healthy cherry tree that is growing out of a mulberry tree. This isn't the first ever case of a parasitic tree, but what sets this one apart is its health and longevity. Previous examples of parasitic trees have been small, stunted trees that don't live for very long, but in this case, these trees are fully formed and healthy, and no one is really sure how this all happened. The roots of the cherry tree were able to push through the mulberry tree's trunk where they could extend into the soil below, and thus the healthiest doubletree ever was born. In our number 2 spot today, we have Lake Karachay. This is a small lake that is located in central Russia in the southern Ural Mountains. While it was once just a regular old lake, starting in 1951, the Soviet Union began using it as a dumping ground for radioactive waste from the Mayak, which was the nearby nuclear waste storage and reprocessing facility. While this lake was originally too small to be used as a source of cooling water, they found that it was the perfect size to be a convenient dumping ground for high-level radioactive material that was too hot to store in the facility's underground vats. While the original intention was to only use the lake for storage purposes and then one day to return the radioactive material to the plant, this of course didn't work out even close to according to plan, considering the lake quickly turned lethal. I didn't know it took a genius to figure that out, but I suppose hindsight is 2020. The lake is now one of the most contaminated, polluted, and dangerous places in the entire world, and the radioactivity in the lake is comparable to what it was once like in Chernobyl. The lake is very interesting to look at, but maybe not in the best way. It is said that even being near the lake for as short as an hour is enough to give a deadly dose of radiation. In our number 1 spot today, we have the Nazca Lines. If you were to head to the Nazca Desert, just about 200 miles southeast of Lima in southern Peru, you'd find the most famous geoglyphs in the world, the Nazca Lines. Researchers believe that these lines might be something like 2 millennia old, and other than how they are incredible works of art, they are completely baffling. The geoglyphs are more than 800 long white lines etched into the desert, as well as 300 geometric shapes and 70 different animal figures. The biggest shape stretches around 1,200 feet across, which leads to my point about why these lines are so incredibly fascinating. These images can only be fully seen from high above in the air, so thinking back 2,000 years ago, how did humans make these without the vantage points we have now? I'm not exactly sure, but it is definitely nothing shy of amazing. Starting off in our number 10 spot, we have Death Valley. Coming in hot, right off the top, pun intended. With a name like Death Valley, it's gotta be pretty bad, right? Death Valley sits on the California-Nevada border, and it's known of course for its extreme heat. I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan, so I grew up with the exact opposite. This is just a nightmare, one of the hottest places on Earth. The only deserts on the planet that come close to the same level of heat are in the Middle East and Africa. Those are the 3 hottest spots. In July 2018, Death Valley was recorded as the hottest place the Earth has ever seen. For 4 days in a row, the average temperature was as high as 127 degrees Fahrenheit or 52 degrees Celsius. You know, so that I can understand how hot that is. Imagine it's 52 degrees outside, or 127 if you do Fahrenheit. I'm sweating just thinking about Death Valley. In our number 9 spot today, we have Kawah Ijen. Located in Indonesia, this is one of the most remarkable and interesting places on Earth. Firstly, this active volcano emits hot, flammable, sulfurous gases. These gases ignite as they enter the oxygen-rich atmosphere of Earth, and this causes them to burn with a stunning blue flame. Further scientific processes also allows there to be a flow of molten sulfur that also has the same striking blue flame. At night is when you really get quite a show from this coloring, as it quite literally looks like a flow of blue lava. The other incredible thing about this location is that there is a 1 kilometer wide caldera that is filled with turquoise blue water. The water color, while it looks gorgeous, is a result of the extreme acidity as well as a high concentration of dissolved metals. It truly is an astonishing place to look at and really is magnificent. In our number 8 spot today, we have the Devil's Kettle. This area is said to hold one of Minnesota's greatest mysteries. As the Brule River flows through in order to make its way toward Lake Superior, there is a point where it makes an 800-foot drop in 8 miles. Because of this journey through time, waterfalls have been created as the water erodes the rocky terrain. One waterfall in particular is the one we want to talk about today. The stream splits into 2 as it falls over the edge. One of the 2 streams flows exactly how you would think it does, while the other is a little more mysterious. On this side, the water rushes into a cavern that seems to go nowhere. This cavern never fills up somehow, but no one can figure out where the water is going. It's a strange phenomena that has resulted in the fall gaining the nickname the Devil's Kettle. It is said that people have tried to place things in the water that might help show them where the water is flowing to, but despite these efforts, the items were just never seen again. In our number 7 spot today, we have Lake Natron. We've got a few bodies of water on this list, and each one is horrible in their own unique way. Lake Natron Amazon in North Tanzania is considered one of the most inhospitable areas in the world. The lake's extreme levels of sodium carbonate decahydrate makes the water corrosive to human skin and eyes. The thing that really catches your eye and makes you want to investigate the lake further is its red hue. This is due to cyanobacteria, but the only animal you'll see in this area is a flamingo. The protection of this lake is vital for us and wildlife. In our number 6 spot today, we have Hessdalen Valley. This is an area that is located in rural central Norway, and while I'm sure it's a wonderful place, we're specifically talking today about what is called the Hessdalen lights. These lights are of unknown origin. They appear in both the day and the night, and they sort of just float through the valley. It is said that the time where the lights appeared the most frequently was between the end of 1981 and 1984, with 15 to 20 sightings per week, but that as of 2010, sightings of the lights is only around 10 to 20 times annually. The lights are usually white, yellow, or red, and sometimes they appear for only a few seconds, while other times they'll stick around for over an hour. The weirdest thing to me is that these lights move. Sometimes they move insanely fast, other times they're slowly swaying back and forth, and sometimes they're just hovering there. No one knows where these lights come from, and I'm just gonna say it. Aliens. There are some currently working hypotheses that one day may be able to explain this phenomena, but for now we're just left guessing. But I'm not guessing. I'm convinced it's aliens. In our number 5 spot today, we have lightning. In western Venezuela, right over the Catatumbo River, there are these insane, intense lightning storms, and it's a complete atmospheric phenomenon. This lightning occurs during 140 to 160 nights a year, 9 hours per day, and from 16 to 40 times per minute. That is absolutely insane. That's so much lightning. Another thing that's so fascinating about this lightning is that it is colorful and it doesn't produce any thunder. The lightning does change its frequency up from time to time, and at one point it stopped for a few weeks, and people thought that maybe it was going to have been exhausted forever, but that changed when the lightning came back, putting it right back on our list of mysteries that we just can't quite figure out. Many people have studied this lightning, trying to figure out how exactly it has been created and what makes this phenomena what it is, but we just aren't yet quite sure. In our number 4 spot today, we have the boiling river. It is pretty common knowledge that the Amazon is home to the longest river in the world, but there is another river found in the Amazon rainforest that is equally as astonishing, but for a different reason. The boiling river got its name for being exactly that, as it is a river that is near a boiling point at all times. The water temperature reaches up to 93 degrees Celsius, which is just shy of the boiling point, and the steam coming off of the surface of the water is an obvious warning to all living creatures that it is absolutely unswimmable. You could, however, poach an egg in this river, although that is probably not the recommended cooking method. There is still debate around the source of heat for this river, but as of right now it is believed to be entirely natural and geothermal. Since the river is not near any active volcanoes or geothermal vents, however, it is quite an anomaly. There are of course more local legends that state the river is a place of power, and that the mother of the waters is responsible for the creation of this incredible and strange river, but either way, just don't swim in the river, and everything will be fine. In our number 3 spot today, we have the Darvaza gas crater. This one is so cool to me, I will talk about it anytime I get the chance. The Darvaza gas crater has been nicknamed the door to hell, and for a pretty good reason. The crater is located in Darvaza, Turkmenistan, and serves as a popular destination for tourists to go and see. The crater is the aftermath of a natural gas field that collapsed into a cavern. The field was being drilled into because it was thought to be a substantial oil site, but quickly after they discovered its natural gas pocket, it ended up collapsing. It is said that the fire was lit by geologists who wanted to prevent the spread of methane gas. It looks so cool, but one of the craziest things about it is that it has been burning since 1971. The scientists originally predicted that it would burn for a few weeks, but it's been 50 years. The crater is 69 meters or 226 feet in diameter and is 30 meters or 98 feet deep. One random but kind of creepy fact about the crater is that camel spiders flock to it in the evening because of its light and warmth, but they often end up falling in to their death. In our number 2 spot today, we have Lake Vostok. Lake Vostok is one of the Earth's lost worlds, despite it being the world's 6th largest lake by volume, and that is because it is a subglacial lake that has been covered in a thick layer of ice for millions and millions of years. Because of this thick layer of ice, there is little to no sunlight that is able to reach the water, but despite this and the freezing cold temperature, it is believed that this lake is the home to many undiscovered species. It is extremely difficult to search this water because of the ice, and scientists thankfully don't want to contaminate the water water with things like antifreeze, so for now the lake and all it has to offer is going to stay unknown and unexplored. In our number 1 spot today we have northern Patagonia. This is one of the most interesting and wildest landscapes in the entire world, and most definitely in Chile alone. Northern Patagonia is home to one of the largest ice fields that is outside of the polar regions. When we combine the temperate rainforests, hot springs, and huge glaciers, it can get a bit dicey in terms of exploration and mapping. Northern Patagonia is by far the most rugged and remote place in the country, but it is said to be absolutely breathtaking. It is full of unclimbed mountains, clear rivers, and turquoise lakes, but exploring it is very much a test on humans. As much as it would be amazing to see everything it has to offer, this one is most definitely not for the average tourist. Starting off this list at our number 10 spot we have Magnetic Hill. This is a location in India that has a legend surrounding it that suggests there is a magnetic force that pulls at a speed of around 20 kilometers per hour. I guess rather than a place where gravity doesn't exist, this one is like a place where there is just too much of it. This means that if you were to park your car but put it in neutral, while on most other hills you would most certainly roll down, on this hill your car will simply stay put, or maybe even find itself rolling uphill. This doesn't just affect things on the ground, however, it also affects those flying through the sky. It is said that flying over this area is troublesome for planes as well, and that they have to adjust to certain things like their speed in order to try and balance out the oddities of the area. In our number 9 spot today we have the Mystery Spot. This mysterious location finds its home in Santa Cruz, California, and it was first discovered to be a place of interest in 1939. It is said that while searching this place they felt some sort of different forces at work. The spot is about 150 square feet inside of a circular area, and it is said that the reason for the strange occurrences here is some sort of change in the magnetic field. It is said that at this mystery spot you can see water flowing upwards, balls rolling uphill, and people can lean further over than normal without falling down. There are many theories as to how this spot became what it is, and they range quite a bit. Some people swear it's just all an optical illusion, while others are certain that it's a result of a meteor that fell to Earth long ago and it created some sort of magic circle. In our number 8 spot today we have the Reverse Waterfall. This mysterious and strange location is another one that comes from India. Here there is a waterfall, but it's got a catch. While we all of course expect to see water cascading down when we think of a waterfall, this strange location instead sees the water moving towards the sky. Some people believe it's because of some anti-gravitational force, others think it's due to heavy air pressure, and I'm not a scientist, so I'll let you decide on this one. While this certainly is quite a strange place, it also definitely delivers when it comes to beauty. I think even if the water flowed down like a normal waterfall, this area would still see a lot of tourists just because of the immense natural beauty. In our number 7 spot today we have the St. Ignace Mystery Spot. For this spot, let's start off with the story behind it. Legend goes that in the 1950s, some surveyors were exploring through Michigan's Upper Peninsula when one day it was realized that none of their equipment was working as it normally should. They of course began doing some troubleshooting and testing, and it was then discovered that these tools were only acting up in a circle that was about 300 feet in diameter, and thus this mystery spot was now discovered. This spot is now visited very often as it has become quite the attraction for tourists who want to see the place where, quote, gravity does strange things. It is said that at this mystery spot, tall people appear short, and sometimes if a person stays for too long, they might even start to feel a little bit queasy or lightheaded, so visitors beware. In our number 6 spot today we have the Australian Magnetic Hill. Over in Australia, we of course have another magnetic hill. This one is sitting a few hours northeast of Adelaide. As you near the area, you will see a gigantic sculpture of a magnet, and that is definitely how you can tell that you were in the right place. Through some sort of combination of topographic anomalies, this hill has some strange occurrences. Of course, like other magnetic hills, when you park your car in neutral, you expect and assume it will roll backwards, but here the car will, or at least it appears to, roll upwards instead. It is also said that not only does the car seemingly climb, but it also gains speed as it does. At the end of the day, despite what it may seem like, this is mostly just an optical illusion rather than some sort of strange force. In our number 5 spot today we have Cosmo's Mystery Area. This location is another one of those popular tourist attractions due to the unusual things that can be seen here. Apparently the trees bow in weird angles, which is one of the reasons this area was discovered, but it doesn't stop at that. When playing a game of catch, well, things aren't quite as simple as they are in most other places. Here the ball is likely to go off course in ways you wouldn't expect. It is also another one of those places where you can find yourself leaning over a lot further without falling than you normally would be able to. We're talking like the gravity-defying Michael Jackson relax and lean, while everywhere else that is quite the feat, here at the mystery area, it's all just a part of the attraction. In our number 4 spot today we have Spook Hill. This hill is located in Florida, and it is said to be another one of the anomalies where gravity just doesn't seem to work correctly. It is said that the name of this place comes from a time when the indigenous people to the land were being removed by settlers. Here, while those who already knew the land were likely accustomed to the oddities, those who were newly settling and stealing the territory were confused by it. This is because as they were riding horses, they noticed that the horses were having a harder time going downhill than uphill, which of course would be different from the norm. This is what led to the nicknaming of the spot as Spook Hill, and ever since then it has been baffling people ever since. In our number 3 spot today we have Mount Aragats. This location is only about 30 kilometers away from the border of Turkey, and it has become quite a popular tourist attraction. Cars can go up parts of the mountain without using their engines, rivers are seen flowing against the pull of gravity. It's a strange place, and it's got a legend to match. According to ancient legend, this mountain and Mount Ararat, which is a dormant volcano, are said to have been sisters who were separated after a fight. Currently the mountains are now even separated politically. This has led to a strong love between the mountains, and in their efforts to reconnect, we experience these strange gravitational phenomena. In our number 2 spot today we have the Inverted Falls. On the island of Suvura, which sits in the southern part of the Faroe Islands, residents experienced a very strange phenomena that they called the inverted waterfall. Basically, like the reverse waterfall, people experienced water spraying upwards instead of flowing downwards. According to weather experts, this was a result of a spiral column of air rotating up, sort of like a tornado. The edge of the cliff only helps to create a stronger rotation, which then sees a funnel of wind and water that appears to be rising and spraying upwards. Once we look at the science, of course, this isn't a case of zero gravity, but it certainly is quite a fantastic weather phenomenon. In our number 1 spot today we have the Golden Boulder. This rock, or really boulder, truly does look like it could fall at any second, but here's the thing. It's been sitting there for 2,500 years. On top of the boulder sits a pagoda, and while the boulder itself is said to be a naturally occurring formation, it is sitting on top of a natural rock platform. This is certainly a precarious situation, as on the side of the rock formation there is a vertical drop into the valley below. I mean, it seems like a terrifying situation, and somehow this rock just remains. There is of course a legend that goes hand in hand with this location and how the rock seemingly defies gravity, and that legend suggests that the reason this rock sits in place so well is because it is being held by a strand of the Buddha's hair. This boulder really isn't fixed in place, it just happens to remain there without any support, which really is pretty astounding. It is believed that this boulder can only be moved by the touch of a woman, which is the reason that women aren't allowed to touch the rock. Starting off this list in our number 10 spot we have Pine Gap. Pine Gap is a highly secretive Australian intelligence facility located in the remote desert of the Northern Territory, approximately 20 kilometers southwest of Alice Springs. The facility is jointly operated by the Australian government and the United States government's Central Intelligence Agency, better known as the CIA. It is believed that Pine Gap is primarily used for the interception of signals intelligence, including satellite imagery and communications from various locations around the world, but at this point in time, no one is really sure. That is because Pine Gap has long been shrouded in secrecy, and its operations have been the subject of much speculation and controversy. There have been allegations of illegal activities taking place at the facility, including surveillance of Australian citizens and involvement in controversial US military operations. Despite this, the Australian and US governments have consistently denied any wrongdoings, and little is known about the true nature of the activities taking place at Pine Gap. The facility remains one of the most mysterious and secretive military installations in the world.
Number 9. Door to Hell. Yep, you heard that right. Door to Hell. Many people believe this giant crater in Turkmenistan is a gateway to hell, and I can't say that I really disagree. It's essentially a 230-foot wide pit with glowing red flames and is surrounded by miles of sand. It's said that this place is a natural gas field that collapsed in 1971. To contain the spread of the methane gas, geologists set it on fire, and it has been continuously burning ever since. Now, many cultures and philosophies around the world believe in the existence of the underworld, and while there are many places believed to be gateways to the underworld, the door to hell might just be the closest resemblance to this place. To this day, the crater is still burning, and no one really knows why.
In our number 8 spot today, we have the Yamantau Mountain Complex. The Yamantau Mountain Complex is a highly secretive and heavily guarded underground facility located in the Ural Mountains of Russia. Its purpose and functions are shrouded in mystery, and the Russian government has actually never officially acknowledged its existence. It is believed to have been built during the Cold War as a nuclear weapons storage facility and command center. There is an above-ground town called Mezgor, and that town is super secret and off-limits, so much so that people aren't even allowed within the vicinity. And this is all thought to be because this town might be holding the complex underneath it. The underground complex is said to cover an area of over 400 square miles with many tunnels and underground facilities. Its exact purpose and current use remain unknown, with various theories and speculations ranging from a bunker for the Russian government and military leaders to a storage facility for advanced weapons and technology. Some have even speculated that it could be used as a launch site for missiles or a secret laboratory for biological weapons research. Despite many attempts by outsiders to uncover the truth about the Yamantau Mountain complex, the Russian government has remained tight-lipped and maintains strict security measures around the area.
Number 7. Queen Mary. Queen Mary is a retired British ocean liner that sailed from 1936 to 1967. The city of Long Beach bought the ship to serve as a tourist attraction featuring restaurants, a museum, and a hotel, but claims were made that the ship was haunted. Apparently, there are resident spirits, including Jackie, the little girl who haunts the first-class pool, John Petter, who was crushed by a watertight door, and the cook, who was baked alive by his own kitchen staff during World War II. But arguably, the most notorious location on the ship for paranormal activity is stateroom B340. Reports claim someone was knocking on the door in the middle of the night, bathroom lights turned on by themselves, the sink faucet turning off and on its own, and unexplained bathroom doors shutting. Some guests have even reported the covers of their bed being pulled off while asleep and waking to see a dark figure standing at the foot of the bed. Now, why is it so haunted and seems to be cursed? No one really knows. But if you dare to spend a night there, I'm sure you'll run into something truly terrifying.
In our number 6 spot today, we have Porton Down. Porton Down is located in Wiltshire, England. Hopefully I said that right. I never know. And it is a government research facility. This place was first created in 1916 during World War I, and it was initially built as a testing ground for chemical weapons. Since then, however, it has become one of the UK's leading research centers for defense and security. Here's where things get pretty mysterious, though. The site is surrounded by high security fencing and is very strictly patrolled by armed guards. Of course, what they are doing inside of this facility is highly classified. Porton Down has been the site of several controversial incidents over the years, including the accidental exposure of military personnel to chemical agents during experiments. The facility has also been accused of testing chemical weapons on unsuspecting civilians in nearby areas. In addition, there have been allegations of unethical animal testing practices and human experiments conducted at the facility. Today, the facility continues to conduct research in areas such as disease control, but many of their operations remain a total mystery.
Number 5. Okigahara Forest. The Okigahara Forest, aka the forest in Japan where people take their lives, is just as terrifying as it is tragic. In front of the entrance of the forest reads, "Think carefully about your children, your family, and your life is a precious gift from your parents." Every year, hundreds of people go here to end their lives, and the number of deaths here can be estimated from the data collected by the local police through the annual campaign. But how many corpses are recovered annually from here is never disclosed. Why people come and end their lives here is still a mystery, but according to an ancient legend, once in Japan, when people were unable to maintain themselves, they were left in this forest where they all died of starvation. It's believed that the ghosts of these dead people hunt for a new soul daily. It's also said that the mournful spirits of those who took their own lives still linger in the woods. Folklore claims they are vengeful, dedicated to tormenting visitors and luring those who are sad and lost off the paths. Japanese astrologers also believe that the reason for the deaths in the forest is due to the power of the strange forces living on the trees, which carry out such incidents. So why so many people feel the need to end their lives there will never be known, and it's such a tragedy.
In our our number 4 spot today, we have the Raven Rock Mountain Complex. The Raven Rock Mountain Complex is a highly secure military installation located in Pennsylvania in the United States, and it is often referred to as the quote, underground Pentagon. The facility, also known as Site R, was built during the Cold War as a backup command center for the Pentagon and was designed to ensure continuity of government operations in case of a nuclear attack. The complex is located inside of a mountain and has a vast network of underground tunnels, facilities, and backup power systems to keep the facility running in case of a disaster, and it is even equipped with communication systems, medical facilities, and living quarters to support personnel in the event of an emergency. Basically, it is everything someone would need in the event of the absolute worst case scenario. Although the site was built for the tense times of the Cold War, it is still in use today, but the functions and capabilities of the site remain classified. We know it serves as a critical facility for the US government and military, and that it has been activated as recently as during the 2020 crisis.
Number 3, the Alaska Triangle. You've probably heard of the Bermuda Triangle, but have you ever heard of the Alaska Triangle? Probably not, so let me tell you about it. It's a remote area infamous for alien abductions, Bigfoot sightings, paranormal phenomena, and vanishing airplanes. So yeah, the Alaska Triangle has everything the Bermuda Triangle has, but with more mountains, and it's cold. Like much of Alaska, the Triangle contains some of the most rugged, unforgiving wilderness in North America. It's an impossibly vast expanse of dense forests, craggy mountain peaks, alpine lakes, and large swaths of plain old wilderness. With all of this, it's no shock that people go missing. What is surprising, however, is the sheer number of people who go missing. Add to that the fact that many disappear without a shred of evidence, and bodies, dead or alive, are rarely found. More than 16,000 people, including airplane passengers, hikers, locals, and tourists, have disappeared within the Alaska Triangle since 1988. The rate per 1,000 people is more than twice the national missing persons average, and the rate of people who are never found is even higher. The numbers don't lie, and they imply that something else is going on here other than people merely getting lost in the mountains. So what's really going on here? Seems like no one knows, and I do not want to be the one to find out.
In our number 2 spot today, we have the Dugway Proving Ground. The Dugway Proving Ground is a highly secretive and heavily guarded military installation located in the Great Salt Lake Desert of Utah in the United States. It was established in 1942, and it covers an area of 798,214 acres, making it one of the largest military testing facilities in the entire world. The facility is primarily used for the testing and development of chemical and biological weapons, as well as for research and the development of various defense technologies. The Dugway Proving Ground is surrounded by a fence, and access is heavily restricted. The facility has been the subject of much speculation and conspiracy theories, with rumors of secret experiments and cover-ups. In 1968, an accidental release of the VX nerve agent killed thousands of sheep in the nearby Skull Valley, leading to widespread concern and criticism of the facility. Despite its controversial past, however, the Dugway Proving Ground remains an essential part of the United States national security infrastructure, and its operations continue to be shrouded in secrecy.
And coming in at number 1 is North Korea. Yes, North Korea as a whole is just plain terrifying as well as mysterious. Little is known about the country due to their dictator Kim Jong-un's rule. They have many secret missile bases, and they have some nuclear facilities that are a little sus to say the least. Kim is also very strict with his people, and they can't access the internet, and if they do, it can only be government approved sites. The same goes with film and TV. The citizens are also treated horribly there. There's hardly any food, and everyone is weak and hungry, and it's even been said that the streets are lined with dead bodies. They also have very strict laws that result in people being executed or sent to prison camps, which are one of the worst forms of torment. Based on the guilty by association principle, they are often imprisoned together with the whole family, including children and the elderly, and including any children born in the camp. A former guard likened the prisoners to walking skeletons, dwarfs, and cripples in rags. He estimated that about 30% of prisoners had deformities such as torn off ears, smashed eyes, crooked noses, and faces covered with cuts and scars resulting from beatings and other mistreatments, and that these people were still forced to work. They had to do hard physical labor in agriculture, mining, and inside factories from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m., followed by ideological re-education and self-criticism sessions. The prisoners are forced to sleep in a room with 80 to 90 people in 30 square meter flea-infested rooms,
rooms, are only occasionally allowed to use the toilet, one for about 300 people, and may only take a shower after several months. No one should have to live like that, and it's horrible. And that's the stuff we do know. Kim is so secretive, I fear that we don't know the true horrors of what goes on in North Korea. Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have Slepa. This place is a remote desert area located in northwestern New Mexico that is known for its unique and otherworldly rock formations. These formations, which include hoodoos, spires, and arches, have an eerie and otherworldly quality that has led some to speculate that they could be from a parallel universe. The landscape of this location is so unusual that it almost defies belief. The rocks appear to be twisted and distorted, as if they have been shaped by some unknown force. Some of the formations look like alien beings, while others resemble ancient ruins. Despite its remote location, Slepa has become a popular destination for hikers, photographers, and adventurers. Many visitors report feeling as if they have stepped into another world when exploring the area, and I don't blame them. The photos truly look like they could be from another planet. Whether or not this place is truly from a parallel universe, there is no denying that its otherworldly beauty and strangeness make it a truly unique and fascinating destination. In our number 9 spot today, we have Raketsbrück. Also known as the Devil's Bridge, this structure is a unique and striking bridge located in Kromlau, Germany. The bridge was built in the 19th century and is famous for its unusual design, which makes it appear as though it could be from a parallel universe. The bridge is built in a circular shape, and its arch is perfectly reflected in the water below, creating a complete circle. The effect gives the impression that the bridge is a portal to another world or dimension. The symmetry and precision of the bridge's design have led many to speculate that it was built using some kind of ancient technology or even by supernatural means. The bridge is also an important historical monument representing the engineering achievements of its time. While this place in itself doesn't necessarily look like it's from a parallel universe, the legends still persist today that suggest it might be the perfect place to enter one. In our number 8 spot today, we have Pamukkale. Located in southwestern Turkey, this place is a natural wonder that looks like it could be from a parallel universe. This unique destination is known for its stunning white terraces and thermal pools, which have been formed over thousands of years by the natural mineral deposits in the area. The terraces of Pamukkale resemble a cascading frozen waterfall with sparkling blue pools of water at the top. The contrast between the white terraces and the blue water is truly breathtaking, and the site is unlike anything else in the world. Many visitors describe the experience of walking on the terraces as otherworldly, as the sensation of walking on the soft white surface is unlike anything else that they have ever experienced, and that is exactly why this place has the nickname Cotton Castle. The surreal beauty of this place has led many to speculate that it is a portal to another world or a place that exists outside of our reality. It is believed by many that the waters here are not only strikingly beautiful, but that they also contain healing powers, which makes it a spot that sees travelers from all over the world. In our number 7 spot today, we have the Waitomo Caves. These caves are a unique and stunning attraction located in the North Island of New Zealand. The caves are known for their stunning display of glowworms, which light up the dark and seemingly endless caverns in a way that makes it seem like they could be from a parallel universe. As visitors enter the caves, they are immediately struck by the otherworldly atmosphere. The walls of the caves are adorned with glittering formations, and the silence is broken only by the gentle drip of water. The real magic of the caves, however, comes from the glowworms that inhabit them. These tiny creatures emit a blue-green light that illuminates the caverns in a way that feels almost supernatural. The experience of walking through the Waitomo glowworm caves is truly unique and unforgettable, and many visitors describe feeling as though they have stepped into another world. Whether or not the caves are actually a portal to a parallel universe, there is no denying that they are a stunning example of the natural beauty and wonder of our world. In our number 6 spot today, we have the Zhangyi Danxia landform. Located in China, this place is a stunning and unique geological feature. The landform is made up of a series of multicolored rock rock formations that have been shaped by millions of years of natural erosion and deposition. The colors of the rock formations are so vivid and intense that it's almost hard to believe that they really are natural. It fully looks like a man-made creation, despite that not being the case at all. The layers of sandstone, siltstone, and mudstone that make up the landform have been exposed to the elements for millions of years, resulting in a surreal and alien-like landscape. Visitors to the area can explore it on foot or by car, taking in the breathtaking views of the colorful mountains and valleys. The unique beauty of the landform has made it a very popular destination for tourists, and of course for photographers from around the world who come to experience this otherworldly landscape for themselves. In our number 5 spot today, we have the White Sands National Park, another place in New Mexico because honestly, New Mexico is definitely a home to many unusual things, and the White Sands National Park is no exception, but it is unbelievable. This national park is a stunning destination due to its unique and surreal appearance. The park features a vast expanse of white sand dunes which are composed of gypsum crystals and form an otherworldly landscape that feels almost alien. Visitors to the park are immediately struck by the contrast between the bright white sand and the vivid blue sky, which creates a very surreal and almost dreamlike atmosphere. The dunes themselves are constantly shifting and changing, creating a landscape that seems to be in a constant state of flux. The unique beauty of the White Sands National Park has led many to describe it as a portal to another world, or a place that exists in another universe. Whether or not that is true, there is no denying that this park is stunning and unforgettable, and a destination that should be on every traveler's bucket list. In our number 4 spot today, we have the Danakil Depression. The Danakil Depression is a part of the Afar Triangle in Ethiopia, and it is a geological depression that came about as a result of Africa and Asia moving apart. The divergence of 3 tectonic plates caused rifting and volcanic activity. This place is the hottest place on Earth in terms of average year-round temperatures, and it is also one of the lowest places on Earth at 100 meters below sea level. There are active volcanoes in the area, there are salt springs, sulfur springs, and it only gets about 4 to 8 inches of rain every year. What I'm saying is that this place is stunning and has an incredibly rich geological history, and it also fully looks like it could be from another planet. This otherworldly landscape and quite inhospitable environment is the home to the Afar people. Somehow they have managed to overcome the odds and the obstacles and managed to thrive in this extreme environment, and it is said that this was made possible over the centuries by their ability to adapt to need less food and water than other humans. That's one of the most remarkable things I've ever heard. The Danakil Depression is a popular destination for adventurous travelers who are seeking an experience that is truly out of this world. Visitors can explore the area on foot or by camel, taking in the breathtaking views of the alien-like landscape. Despite the harsh conditions, the area is also home to a number of fascinating animals and plants that have adapted to this unique environment. In our number 3 spot today, we have the Pyramids of Giza. One of the most mysterious places on Earth has to be the Pyramids of Giza. I mean, how? For centuries, people have wondered and tried to find answers as to how they were built at all, let alone with the limited resources and without the use of modern technology. And they've been around for the last 4,000 years, so the durability alone is outstanding. This alone is the source of much mystery, but that's only the outside of them. What lies on the inside might just be even more so. The Pyramids of Giza, especially the Great Pyramid of Giza, were believed to have been built as tombs for rulers and other wealthy people. That totally makes sense, except for the fact that there hasn't been any mummies found inside of them. Instead, there's just a plethora of secret, unexplored rooms, hidden doors and mirrors, you know, just regular ancient Egypt stuff. Many of these secret rooms remain completely unexplored over fear of damage. One more strange thing about these incredible creations is that they were built on the center of the Earth. However they did this, they aligned them perfectly with Orion's belt, with no technology. Just pure brilliance. I'm saying, if anywhere is going to take you to a parallel universe, these pyramids will take you back in time to a completely different world. In our number 2 spot today, we have the Crooked Forest. Forests are already creepy, but this one looks like it's straight out of a Tim Burton film. The Crooked Forest in Poland. There's around 400 odd-shaped pine trees near the town of Grafino. These trees are about 90 years old, and all of the trees, from the base, they immediately bend towards the north and then slowly curve back towards the sky like other trees. Despite this odd bend, the trees are otherwise healthy. There's been so many theories as to how these trees got their bend, but none of them really stick. Some suggest it was a gravitational anomaly, but that's a little too far-fetched for me. I don't know, this isn't Interstellar. Other theories claim that there were heavy snowfalls that could weigh down the branches, which could check out, but why is it just a select amount? I've lived in Canada my entire life. We have lots of snow, and I've never seen a Sleepy Hollow tree. My favorite theory is that the farmers were trying to make the tree curved on purpose to make stronger wheels because the grain direction would make for naturally curved wheels. But again, nobody knows for sure. What are your thoughts? Do we like the wheel theory? And finally, in our number 1 spot today, we have the Catatumbo River. Basically, in western Venezuela, right over the Catatumbo River, there are these insane, very intense lightning storms, and it is a complete atmospheric phenomenon. This lightning occurs during 140 to 160 nights a year, 9 hours per day, and from 16 to 40 times per minute. That is absolutely insane. That is so much lightning. This place will transport you into a parallel universe where it's just lightning all the time. Another thing that's so fascinating about this lightning is that it is colorful and it doesn't produce any thunder. The lightning does change its frequency up from time to time, and at one point it stopped for a few weeks and people thought that maybe it was going to have been exhausted forever, but that thankfully changed when the lightning came back, putting it right back on our list of mysteries that we just can't quite figure out. Many people have studied the lightning, trying to figure out how exactly it has been created and what makes this phenomena what it is, but we just aren't yet quite sure. Starting off this list, in our number 10 spot, we have the Hoya Bashu Forest. This dense woodland is located in the heart of Transylvania, Romania, which, as I'm sure you're well aware, already has quite the reputation for eerie and spooky things. The forest covers an area of approximately 250 hectares and is known for its unusual and unexplained occurrences, earning it the nickname the Bermuda Triangle of Transylvania. How convenient. The forest is known for its twisted and gnarled trees, which create a very haunting atmosphere, as well as the strange circular patches of land that dot the area known as Hoya, which some believe to be the result of UFO activity. The forest has also been the site of many alleged paranormal events, including ghost sightings, unexplained lights and sounds, and even disappearances, which is exactly why many believe it is a portal to another world. Some visitors to the forest who didn't disappear have even reported rashes, nausea, and feelings of anxiety afterwards. Despite its eerie reputation, the forest is also a place of immense natural beauty with a diverse range of flora and fauna. The forest is home to many rare and endangered species of plants and animals, including several species of orchids and woodpeckers. The forest is also rich in its history, as it is said it was once the site of a medieval fortress and was an important location during the Second World War. The area is also steeped in local folklore and legends, with stories of supernatural beings and witches who are said to dwell in the forest. All in all, this place is jam-packed with spooky stories, strange occurrences, and beautiful but haunting scenery. All the things that make it the perfect place to enter another world. In our number 9 spot today, we have the real Bermuda Triangle, not the Bermuda Triangle of Transylvania. The Bermuda Triangle is really just the mecca when it comes to mysterious disappearances and rumors and urban legends, so of course it had to make it onto this list today. The triangle, which sits in between Florida, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda, earned its deadly reputation starting back in the 1970s. Since then, there has been about 80 aircrafts and 60 boats that have gone missing in the triangle, which only fueled rumors that there was some sort of force or supernatural cause that was making this area one where people would often go missing. There have been intense electrical forces and tunnel-like clouds reported in the triangle, which some may believe is the cause of the disappearances. Some others believe it's weather patterns. Some believe it's the entrance to a parallel universe or a place where aliens like to abduct their victims, and some people just like to dismiss the idea that there's any sort of mystery at all. At this point, exactly what is going on with the Bermuda Triangle remains a mystery. In our number 8 spot today, we have the Oregon Vortex. Just off of Interstate 5 in southern Oregon lies what is called the Oregon Vortex. According According to local legend, it is said that this area and the strange and mysterious stories surrounding it aren't just modern legends, but perhaps it stems back further. People have said that the stories of the Oregon Vortex actually stem back to when indigenous Americans referred to it as the Forbidden Land. It is said that during these times, people traveling on horses would often find their horses refusing to go into the area. So clearly, something strange was going on in there that was spooking these animals right out. Scientists have speculated that the land might contain some kind of crossed magnetic lines that produce basically like a force field, but whatever it really is, the place is truly strange. Things appear very differently here. It's sort of like everything is an optical illusion. The area is basically a parallel universe in itself. In our number 7 spot today, we have Socotra Island. Socotra Island is a remote island located in the Arabian Sea, about 240 kilometers east of the Horn of Africa and 380 kilometers south of the Arabian Peninsula, and it has been described as, quote, the most alien-looking place on Earth. It is a part of Yemen and is known for its unique and otherworldly qualities, as well as its rare and endemic plant and animal species. In fact, so many species here are endemic that up to a third of its plant life isn't found anywhere else on Earth. The landscape of Socotra is strikingly surreal, with towering limestone cliffs, deep caves, and white sand beaches. The island is home to unusual rock formations and the infamous dragon blood trees. This strange-looking umbrella-shaped tree have a red sap inside of them, which is thought to be the dragon's blood of the ancients. In addition to its natural wonders, Socotra has a rich cultural heritage with a mix of African, Arabian, and South Asian influences. The island's inhabitants, the Socotri people, have a unique language and a way of life that has been preserved for centuries. Overall, this island is just truly otherworldly, and it offers a glimpse into a world unlike any other, with the island's landscape being compared to that of a science fiction movie set. In our number 6 spot today, we have Salar de Uyuni. Salar de Uyuni is the world's largest salt flat located in the southwest of Bolivia near the crest of the Andes. The area spans over 10,000 square kilometers and is characterized by a stunning otherworldly landscape. This peculiar place was formed by the evaporation of a prehistoric lake, leaving behind a thick layer of salt crust that stretches as far as the eye can see. During the rainy season, the salt flat becomes a giant mirror reflecting the sky and clouds in a breathtaking spectacle. It is truly unbelievable. It looks completely fake and is somehow super real. The unique terrain and climate of the area has also given rise to many unusual natural formations. The flat is dotted with small islands of rock and gigantic cacti, which serve as a haven for a variety of animal species. Yes, I said giant cacti. While this place is mostly devoid of life, plant or animal, that is save for these cacti that can grow to be 12 meters or 39 feet tall. The area is also home to many active geysers and hot springs, as well as colorful lakes that are filled with flamingos during certain times of the year. In fact, in November, this place becomes a feeding ground for 3 South American species of flamingo feeding on local brine shrimps. These are the Chilean, Andean, and rare James flamingos. Aside from its natural wonders, Salar de Uyuni is also rich in cultural history. The area has been inhabited by the indigenous Aymara people for thousands of years, and they have maintained their traditional way of life and culture to this day. In our number 5 spot today, we have the Challenger Deep. The Challenger Deep is the deepest known point in our ocean, around 10,900 meters deep. It is located in the Pacific Ocean in the southern part of the Mariana Trench, and because of its location, lack of light, and immense pressure, it hasn't been explored very much. The extreme environment has certainly set up for there to be a whole host of species that we know absolutely nothing about, but it is not an area that can be easily explored by humans. The Challenger Deep has only been visited 4 times, and only for short periods of time, so there is so much more that is waiting to be uncovered at this deep, dark part of our ocean, and I don't know about you, but I feel like there are crazy amounts of ocean creatures that could fully be aliens. They are so strange and interesting and unique, so who in the world knows what really lurks down there? In our number 4 spot today, we have East Scotia Ridge. In the southern Ocean, about 2,400 meters down, you'll find this biological community or habitat that was discovered in 2012. East Scotia Ridge is a remote underwater mountain range located between South Georgia Island and the Antarctic Peninsula. The ridge is known for its unique and very mysterious geology, as well as its diverse marine life and harsh environment. It is dark down there, but it is also hot as it is being warmed by hydrothermal vents, and it can reach temperatures up to 382 degrees Celsius, which is absolutely insane. Because of this dark, hot environment, of course, we are going to find a whole bunch of new species that were previously unknown to us. Some of these species include a new kind of albino octopus, and also albino hairy lobster that's referred to as a yeti lobster, and apparently even a crab that uses its hair to grow a bacteria that detoxifies the water. Okay? Parallel universe, that's what I'm saying. In our number 3 spot today, we have the Paris catacombs. The catacombs in Paris are some of the most famous in the world. This is a place that holds the remains of more than 6 million people, and it's also the source of an insane amount of urban spooky legends. This ossuary was created originally in an effort to eliminate the overflowing of the city's cemeteries. To be honest, this place, after being built, was mostly forgotten, but during the 19th century it became a novelty place for concerts and private events, which is certainly macabre. After some renovations and construction, they became open to the public in 1874, and they have been the source of much mystery ever since. These catacombs are expansive, with most of them being blocked off to the public, which begs the question, why? In 2009, there is said to have been a video camera discovered inside the catacombs with footage that showed an unidentified man dropping the camera in fear of something that's also unidentified before running away into complete darkness. I'm just saying, although the catacombs sees a ton of visitors every year, I'm not convinced that we know all of what's going on down there. And I don't want to know. Keep your secrets. In our number 2 spot today, we have the Moval Cave. This cave is located in Romania, just a few kilometers from the coast of the Black Sea, and it was first discovered in 1986. This cave has been isolated from the outside world for millions of years, and basically everything that goes on inside of it is different than what we are used to. The cave life is not based on photosynthesis and rather chemosynthesis. The level of oxygen in the cave is around a third of what is normally found in the atmosphere, and of the 48 species found in the cave, 33 of them were endemic to just the cave. This cave looks absolutely terrifying, but thank goodness for the brave scientists who don't let that get in the way, because as scary as it looks, it is just as, if not more, amazing to be able to hear about what exactly this cave holds. In our number 1 spot today, we have the Zhangjiajie National Forest Park. This stunning nature reserve is located in the Hunan province of China, and it spans over 11,000 hectares and is known for its towering sandstone pillars and breathtaking natural scenery. The park is characterized by its unique and otherworldly landscapes, which includes thousands of the tall sandstone pillars that rise up from the ground. The pillars are often shrouded in mist, creating a very mystical and surreal atmosphere. Visitors can explore the park's many hiking trails, which wind through dense forests and lead to stunning lookout points, including the famous Avatar Hallelujah Mountain that inspired the scenery in the film Avatar. You too can visit Pandora right here on Earth. The area is also home to a diverse range of flora and fauna, including many rare and endangered species. Aside from the natural, this is also a spot rich in history, as it was once the home to many ancient temples and shrines located within the park. The area has been inhabited for over 3,000 years, and visitors can explore many historic sites and learn about the region's rich cultural heritage. Overall, this national forest park is a truly spectacular destination that combines natural beauty, cultural history, and a sense of awe and wonder that is sure to leave visitors feeling as though they went to another world.